You couldn't buy them. They were being sold out so fast because, you know, it mattered. The fish hadn't smelled that before, and they were working. They were catching fish like crazy.
Yeah, and the thing, you know, so when that first came out, you know, it really took off with smallmouth. But the first, I'll call it convention, the first get together we had with Berkley Pros when Maxscent released, Justin Lucas went and shot a show with Steve Panaz, and they were flipping docks. And Lucas was using a Maxscent bunker hog, whereas Panaz was using, I think, the regular bunker hog, just the power bait, and Lucas was getting more bites. And he's like, they showed it on the show, and Lucas was like, dude, it matters. It's not just smallmouth, it matters all the way around, you know. So that's what, it was really cool to see the flatworm take off and be such a key player in the whole smallmouth world, but it really kind of put a shadow over using it for largemouth, because we have great largemouth shapes, you know, in the Maxscent, as far as, you know, having a general, having a creature bait. We have critter hogs, things you can flip. I mean, the whole 9 yards. We have a lot of shapes for largemouth that are awesome. And there's probably going to be some guys that are going to be upset with me when this was over, because I'm bringing it to light, because they don't want it talked about. But Maxscent for largemouth is, you know, it's really important. One thing that when I realized, you know, my personal eye-opening experience, I was doing a tank demo when Maxscent first came out, and I had a Kingtail worm on, and I'd thrown in the tank, and the fish weren't really acting right. Those tank bass, you'd think they'd be easy to catch, but they're not, with 900 eyeballs staring at them on either side of the glass. But I had thrown in there, and I got hung on the obstruction on one of the things they had in the tank. So I just clicked the button, let a little line out, and I just told the people, I was like, well, I'll have to walk down there and get it in a minute, but I'm just going to talk to you. But in a real world situation, what you're going to want to do is let this bait soak. You're not going to want to fish it fast. What happened is dispersing that sin in the tank. And I said that should have a drawing power to draw fish to it. And like I started hearing the crowd like mumbling, and they're talking to each other and getting excited. And there's bubbles on top of the water, so it's hard to see, but I stood up where I could see kind of in the hole, and the biggest one in the tank had swam around and went over the obstruction, because it was on the opposite side of it, and went down there, and my line goes, donk. Wow. And he gets it, and I shook him off, you know, and it was like sold right then. Because that was, if I wanted to draw it out on paper how I would hope it would happen, that's how I would want it.
Right,
and that's exactly what he did. And there's nothing else other than he could smell and taste that bait that he went to it, because I wasn't wiggling it, I wasn't moving it, it wasn't in his line of sight. And so it just goes to show, like, that tank was filling with that scent, that fish could track it down. And I realized right then how good their senses really are, other than their feel. Everybody knows they can feel, they can come find your bait, but their scent factors are way above, I think, what any of us really realize, how far they can track something just by their smell.
It is amazing, and we relearn it all the time.
And the information Bass University provides isn't your basic run-of-the-mill fishing video. This is specific information from A to Z to help you learn, get to the water, and become a better angler quickly.